Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalita Sri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Let's quickly see some slokas that will help us go through step-by-step process. So, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Savaipum Samparo Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje Ahetukiya Pratihata Yayatma Suprasidhati Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasya Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam Susrushoshadadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Shanmahat Sevaya Vipra पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधिनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्च चेतयेतिरनाविद्धं स्थितं सद्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो पङ्कजनाभाय नमो पङ्कजमालिने नमो पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रिये त्वयि मे अनन्यविषया मतिर्मधुपते अशकृत् रतिमुद्वहतात् अधा गंगे वागुं धन्वती क्वीन कुंती महारानी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. So Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a Amala Purana, which is there is no impurity in this and there is nothing false there is nothing false in Bhagavatam. So one should read without a doubt, and and one should read every day. So please give me your blessings, give me permission so I can speak a word or two for glorifying Krishna. So let's. So today I'm reading from Canto 2, Chapter 1, text number 22. The first step in God realization, the chapter's name, and text number 22 is about Parikshit Maharaj starts asking questions to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So it goes like this: Rajo Vacha Yatha Sandharyate Brahman Dharana Yatra Sammata Yadrishi Va Hared Ashu Purushasya Manomalam. Word to word meanings. Raja Ovacha, the fortunate king said, Yatha, as it is, Sandharyate, the conception is made, Brahman, O Brahmana, Dharana, conception, Yatra, where and how, Sammata, in a summary, Yadrishi, the way by which, Va, or Haret, extricated, Ashu, without delay, Purushasya, of a person, Manaha, of the mind, Malam, dirty things. Translation. The fortunate king Parikshit inquired further, said, O Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Purport by His Divine Grace HG Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence. But on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart. So here we should make a note of the root cause. The root cause of all troubles. What is the root cause of all troubles? But on occasion, on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. So we should, also make a point here about long prison life in the material world. What does it mean? So he is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord, but on account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus bind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. These dirty things of fruity work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. So in this statement, Srila Prabhupada is explaining what are those dirty things. When he says dirty things, everybody thinks their own definitions of dirty things, right? But Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying here what he meant about dirty things is fruity work and empiric philosophy in this context of this purport. These dirty things of fruity work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. We can actually discuss on what is that association with Supreme Lord and how many ways we can associate with Supreme Lord later in the after reading. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer his association by his inconceivable potencies. Thus, persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with his Virat Rupa, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of his unlimited potencies. Since the potent and potencies are identical, even the conception of his impersonal cosmic feature helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. So let's give a pause here, and I have some questions to the audience. So let's see, let's start with the discussion. So my first question will be, what is the root cause of all troubles? We just read the text.
Material desires, Mataji.
Material desires, that is one reason.
The impurities in the heart.
What, Mataji?
The impurities in our heart.
Yes. Right, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you both of you for participating. Yes, this first line of the purport has the answer. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. So next, why the material world is compared to a prison life? Who wants to explain? Can someone explain why the material world is compared to prison life? Anyone?
We don't have much control over the course of our existence. We are under the control of the Supreme, and it is like a prison house. We cannot fulfill our desires at our whims. We cannot have darshan of the Lord at our demand or any of those things. So we are under very restricted.
So we are, yes, Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Anita Mataji, unmuted. You want to share, Mataji? Anita Mataji.
Mataji, because the three modes of material nature bind us, because of that we suffer. So it's kind of prison, the binding.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. And Jyotirmaya Mataji unmuted. You want to share add something?
I was thinking why we say prison house is that this is the place for rectification also. That's why the Lord, because in the prison is a place where the person who made mistake is the place to rectify himself. Somewhere Prabhupada says that. So this material world means because of our desire we came here. This is the place to rectify, and we should go back to God.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Anybody else want to add more? All right. Yes, all of your answers are correct. And to just emphasize more, this present life, it's like in a prison, we are bound by walls, right? We have 4 walls in this prison. And these 4 walls are, anybody want to add? Like, what are those 4 walls we are bound by? The Sanskrit words, if you may share. Yes, Kiran Mataji, you want to share, Mataji?
Well, I was thinking of the Sanskrit words, but it's Mrityu, Jara.
Yes.
I don't know the other two.
Yeah.
But birth, old age, disease.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These 4 things are, they will come one after another and attack us. And we cannot break through these 4 walls. And that's why it's considered as a prison. We are bound in this prison. And like Jyotirmaya Mataji explained, this prison, we send culprits to prison because they will sit down and contemplate, reflect on what they have done. They will sit down and not do anything else, just to think about what their actions, why we are here, why did I end up in this prison, what did I do mistake. So it's a time for reflection, time for contemplation, and time for reformation. They have time to think, and there is no pressure, nothing else is going on in life in prison, right? Just eat on time, sleep on time, do the chores on time, that's it, there is nothing else. So they have a lot of time to think about what they have done and how to reform. So that's what we are given this time in this material world, so that we can spend that time and reform. So now Parikshit Maharaj surprisingly got 7 days. He only got 7 days to reform or anything. He only got 7 days, and look at what he is asking. And I want to also ask one more question here. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus bind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. We just talked about the 4 walls of the prison. These dirty things of fruity work and empiric philosophy can be removed by only associating with Supreme Lord. There are so many ways of associating with Supreme Lord. We'll come to that discussion, but Srila Prabhupada was talking about Virat Rupa here. There was a reason why he's again introducing the topic of cosmic manifestation, the creation of the universe, and Virat Rupa. There is a reason why. So we'll get to that reason also. So now let's read the next paragraph. Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Sri Krishna. Right? Then why he has to worry about the Virat Rupa? Why he is asking about cosmic manifestation? Let's look at it. So Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Sri Krishna. And as such, he had no need to inquire from Sukadeva Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Rupa of the Lord. See, he has no need. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining also. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others. So he wants to help everybody else who is reading Bhagavatam or who is listening, hearing in that Naimisharanya forest, Sukadeva Goswami explained to Parikshit and Suta Goswami explained to the Saunakadi Muni, Saunakadi Rishis. So, and that's 2 scenarios plus this conversation with this, whoever is the speaker and the audience in our everyday daily Bhagavatam. So, so others, to benefit the others who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So it's very when say Krishna is Satchit Anand. I mean, how do you understand it? I mean, how do you form a Satchit Anand on on a person's body? Like, you cannot imagine, right? It's really hard to understand. Not everybody is at that stage or level to understand Satchit Ananda. So for those people, meditating on the Virat Rupa it will help them to connect to Krishna, and slowly at some point come to the personal form of the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. The non-devotee class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord. You see, we have to make a point here. The non-devotee class of men, that means the people who does not even believe Krishna is God. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the personal form of the Lord like Rama or Krishna is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is explained by the Lord himself that the people who with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of Lord, taking him to be a common man. Such men are ignorant of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. By the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or any other society of living beings and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord without deviating in the slightest form his transcendental position. So, for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in his personal eternal form, Maharaja Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami how to fix the mind on him in the beginning, and the Goswami replied in detail as follows. So, when we are starting our journey, right? Like, we have to start from ground up, right? I mean, we are beginning. That means we should consider ourselves as non-devotees. Like, just think, right? We should, as a devotee, we probably believe in Krishna, but we might not know everything. So we should always keep ourselves at that humble state of mind, so that we keep our mind open to more information or any information that will make us knowledgeable, or it will make us aware of the features of Krishna or understanding about Krishna. So here Bhagavad Gita 9.11 verse is referred. So in this verse, actually, Srila Prabhupada talks about mudhas, fools. So he clearly explains a fool is somebody who thinks Krishna is equal to him. Like they compare Krishna to be a normal human being. He does Ras Leela, so that then if Krishna does Ras Leela, why can't I imitate? Right? Some people do that. Some lot of sadhus and people like that, they do that, which is very, very wrong. They are like they are considered as mudha, fool. Also, there is one more thing here where so he can move in human society or any other society of living beings, yet remain the same omnipotent Lord. We have seen the avatars of Krishna, right? He's not only taken his avatar in a human living entity form, but there are other living entities also where he has taken his form. Can someone share what are the other living entities that he has taken avatar as living communities?
Hare Krishna Mata. Varaha as well as Kurma.
Varaha, Kurma, Matsya. So,
Hayagriva.
One Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hayagriva.
Hayagriva, right. And Narasimha, who is a half man, half animal, so he can come in any form. Maharaj Prutu Maharaj, in 4th canto, we see Prutu Maharaj is also an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. But where did he come from? Anybody know where Prutu Maharaj came from? It's a very interesting.
By churning the body of King Vena.
Yes. Yeah. King Vena is a really, really cruel person. King Vena's dead body was preserved by his mother's mystical, yogic powers. Okay, so his body is preserved after he's dead. But because he is coming from King Anga's lineage, King Anga is a very, very pure soul. So the sages of the city, the sages of the country did not want to lose that lineage. So they take his body parts and churn it. When they churn his body parts, out of the body parts, Maharaj Prithu will appear. I mean, it's just very inconceivable. It's hard for us to believe this, like, right? It's very hard because, but think about it, right? He is Lord. He can come from anything. He can come from a wall, like Narsim Bhagavan came from. He doesn't have a mother and father, right? He came from a wall, a pillar, because Prahlad Maharaj said he is there. He came out of it, and then he came out of King Vena's body without a mother, without any any process of birthing process, nothing. He just came out of his body during the churning process of the Brahmanas. So he can even come from a dead body. Even that means for him anything is possible. He can do anything. So that's why he's saying even though he can do anything, there was an example in seventh chapter Bhagavad Gita where it's explained just like air. Air is everywhere, right? The wind is everywhere, but it literally stays on the sky. Depends on when there is no sky, there is no wind. That means when we go out of this planet's orbit, right? Then when the rocket goes, after moving out of the sky, then they will go into vacuum, where in the vacuum there is no air, right? That means there is a place for air. That means just like how air is filled everywhere, Krishna is there everywhere, but it does not affect, like none of the incidents or the karma or any activities that happen in the universe, it does not affect him. From Karanokasai Vishnu, a lot of pores are coming, right? So many millions of universes are coming out of his pores, right? When he is in Yoga Nidra. And each and every universe, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu enters, right? From Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu's navel, this lotus feet comes and Brahma appears, and Brahma then creates the secondary creation of all the 14 planetary systems and everything, right? So, but even though all of this is happening, nothing is affecting Krishna. Just like how air is there everywhere, but it's just like how it is depending on the sky. So that's how we are all dependent on Krishna. So that's how, like, the inconceivable potency of the Lord, such men are. So he can remain the same omnipotent Lord irrespective of all these creations, because his energies are controlling the universe. His energies are maintaining the universe. His energies are taking care of all of this, but his energies are working under his direction. He's a director. He under his direction only everything is happening, but it does not affect him personally, because he's Amala, right? He's pure, like sunlight. When sunlight is there, there is some dirt or stool on the road. The stool does not contaminate sunlight, but by sunlight there is a possibility of drying up the stool and taking out the orders, and this stool can purify also. So that is like, so Krishna is like that. So no matter how everybody is or how everything is happening, nothing will impact or affect Krishna. So okay, now coming back to the point I started out. So the point why Parikshit Maharaj is asking about cosmic creation, Virat Rupa. Why is he asking this question? Let's discuss about this. He has only 7 days. He has only 7 days. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Sandhya Mataji, you want to share?
Oh, I was on. I see. I'm sorry.
So if you want to share, you can share, Mataji, or I will go to other people, whoever is interested.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. So anybody else want to participate and give your thoughts on why? What are you thinking about? Why he is asking about cosmic creation? First, that is his first question. Why he is asking about that? There is an answer in the purport also, but there is much bigger answer beyond. Anyone want to share? Yes, Jyotirmaya Mataji. No, I thought it was somebody raising the hand. Sorry about that. I thought I will just think, we can just look at our thought process, right? I mean, why would Parikshit Maharaj ask about, see, he has only 7 days. He can directly ask about Raslila, right? You know, the Madhurya Rasa is a topmost, right? Topmost. And if you, when you go through in the Madhurya Rasa topics or kathas or Krishna kathas in the 10th canto, it is more purifying than anything else, right? Of course, everything else is purifying also, but 10th canto is more purifying. But he started with the process of creation. Why? Anita Mataji want to share something.
Mataji, maybe he wants to know everybody about the greatness of Krishna, how the whole world is sustained on his, energy.
That is one reason. But we can understand by Govardhan Leela, we can understand greatness of Krishna by him marrying 16,108 wives at the same time. So there are, great things he did in 10th canto, right? So he could ask about those things. That is also purifying. That will also tell us about the greatness of Krishna. But why he is asking about the creation process? What is the significance of learning about creation process?
Hare Krishna Mataji, is it to establish the supremacy of the Lord?
That is one reason. That is, yes, we need to learn about creation process so that we know where is our position, how small we are, and how great he is, how much he spends, like how much he has invested for our own purification and reformation. Yes, the supremacy of the Lord is definitely one thing, but there is another very subtle point I'm trying to get at, trying to see if one of the audience is gonna share. I'm sure you know it already. We discuss over and over again. We come back to it again and again.
To engage us in his pastimes?
To engage us in his pastimes is everywhere, right? Everywhere.
Or to engage in his service?
That's also is everywhere. That is not why he's asking about creation, particularly creation process. So this canto started with the questions by Parikshit Maharaj, right? The glorification of the questions by Sukadeva Goswami. He started with glorifying his questions. Then he starts slowly answering. So there is this conversation going back and forth. Then Parikshit Maharaj started with, see, in 7 days, he's going to leave his body. He has only 7 days. Why would he want to waste his time on creation? All right. So it's already 8 o'clock. I will try to just give the gist of it. Okay. There is a paddhati to learn scripture. There is a paddhati. Even though Parikshit Maharaj came from Pandavas lineage, Pandavas are pure devotees of Lord Sri Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj has already witnessed Krishna in the womb of Mother Uttara. He has already witnessed his Rupa, right? He's seen the Paramatma Rupa within the womb of Uttara. He has an encounter with Krishna just before, even before he's born. He's coming from Pandavas lineage. So I'm sure he has read Srimad Bhagavatam already. Like he has already heard all the stories. He knows everything. But still, he knows 10th canto is much more, the Krishna's, we compare it with the Krishna's beautiful face, right? Then 10th canto is like topmost, right? Then why? It's because he wants us to show by example that we should not jump over cantos and then go directly to Rasalila. In Srimad Bhagavatam, at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada, I think in the preface or introduction, I don't remember exactly, Srila Prabhupada very clearly talks about how unscrupulous people jump over to Rasalila part without going over all the 9 cantos first. So there is a systematic way of learning. So especially here, what we learn is Parikshit Maharaj is taken a Diksha by Sukadeva Goswami, right? He has accepted Sukadeva Goswami as his guru. Now, by Pariprasnena Sevaya, he is trying to inquire from Sukadeva Goswami about the Lord, right? And how he's doing, he's going in a systematic way. He's giving us an example. Just because I have only 7 days to live, that doesn't mean I have to jump to 10th canto, right? So we can still go systematically, and then slowly, by Lord's mercy, we can reach to the destination. So it's a very, very subtle point, but that is, we have to remember, because even great souls like Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, even Narada and Brahma also, there is a Narada Brahma Samvada coming up in the future in this conversation, the creation process. Even there also, there is a process, and we have to pay attention to these subtle things, so that we can follow properly. So I think Parikshit Maharaj questions are purifying. They are see, many times this point I wanted to share. In our school, right, when we grew up and we went to schools and we did our exams and things like that, nobody glorifies questions. Did we ever appreciate the questions that came into the exam? No, right? But Srimad Bhagavatam is the only place, even the questions make us think. Even the questions are equally valuable like the answers. So we mostly talk about in the grading system, right? In our mechanical grading system, we give value to the answers, right? And we get graded by how we answer the questions. How we are getting our grades are based on that, how you wrote the exam. But Srimad Bhagavatam is so like topmost. Even just by knowing what questions Parikshit was asking, that's good enough also. So just wanted to emphasize on that part also. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. We have seen the importance of asking questions to a guru. We have seen what type of question should be asked to a guru. Also, we have seen where to begin when you want to learn about Krishna. Where should we begin and why it is important? And thank you very much for regularly joining the Srimad Bhagavatam sessions and helping all of us go through this purification process. If any questions or discussion, we can take for another 2 more minutes, or else we can close the call. And thank you very much for participating.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Bhakti Priya. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the very nice class, very professor-like, and we enjoyed being with you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev, I have no idea what I was doing today. So yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji. As usual, wonderful class, and I didn't even realize how the time went by. Thank you so much. Looking forward for more of your talks, Mataji.
All goes to Guru Maharaj Prabhuji. Thank you for encouraging me consistently. All right then, thank you all for joining. We are already at the mark. So, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.